Well, welcome. I'd like to welcome a couple people I just met at an event that I spoke at a couple weeks ago. This is Devon and Dylan. Say hi, guys.
Hello.
These guys are going to be on the cover of a magazine someday, Forbes probably, something like that. They're young go-getters who have started this really cool business idea. I just can't get over it, and I love it. And so I'm going to let them tell you a little bit about their business, and then yeah, I'll have some questions for you. So Devin and Dylan, first of all, thanks for being here. And why don't you tell us a little bit about you, how you guys met, and how you started this business?
Yeah, thanks for having us. So I'm Devon Dixon. Trying to think. Field Drinks started about 3 years ago. So Dylan, he's actually my stepbrother, so that's how we met. And he wasn't here for the original part of Field Drinks because he was on an LDS mission at that time. And so we started in September 2020 is when we launched, which is not a great time, obviously, for that. But the idea started about a year before then, August 2019. And basically, I was sitting in the school cafeteria at Dixie State University, and I just realized like how expensive drinks are on campus and how you can't even get refills or anything. It's like you pay $250 for a drink and can't even get flavoring add-ins or anything. And it's not really very like cost effective for college students. And I thought, well, what if you kind of change this model, and as we've seen, like subscriptions are becoming a really big kind of business industry right now, and but not so much in the physical world yet. You see a lot in online businesses. But what we thought was like, well, what if we can take soda and make that subscription? And that's kind of like where the whole idea started. And we honestly thought like it'd be a pretty easy business. Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, there you go.
Like we thought it was soda, like how hard a business could it be, you know? But turns out like it was actually like very difficult, especially like we have a Coca-Cola Freestyle, which is the touchscreen soda machines, and those are really hard to get. Like you're not really supposed to get one unless you're like a big franchised company. So it was months and months and months of negotiations with Coke just to even let us attempt at having one. And like there's other companies in St. George who tried to get one and haven't even been able to get one. So that was really like a huge blessing just to be able to get that machine. And the problem is once we got it, we were just barely after the start of COVID, which when we started the idea wasn't even a thing, but suddenly people were nervous about refills and things like that. And so that just kind of put a little bit of a hamper on our business, as well as like half the students weren't on campus because they were doing Zoom classes, or even more than half. And so we had a little bit of a rough start.
I guess so. It seemed like the deck was stacked against you.
Yeah.
So I mean,
Yeah.
and those are some huge problems to run into, right? Like I think a lot of business owners they would throw in the towel. So what was it that made you guys keep going? Why keep going? I mean, yeah.
I think it was just like determination to know that like any business that really is rewarding takes time and is challenging. I mean, there are businesses that are easier to start, but they have lower reward. And so kind of like our philosophy is if you want to eventually hope to have a big reward, you have to sacrifice and kind of just grin and bear it through that hard time. And it doesn't mean you will be successful even still, but I think that's part of being an entrepreneur is just going through those ups and downs and weathering it. And as long as you still believe the business has a possibility of working, then I think you just don't give up. I mean, sometimes with some businesses, you realize you get into it far enough, and you're like, okay, maybe I shouldn't pursue this anymore. And that's a smart thing to do because you don't want to waste your time. But as long as you still like believe that it has a future, like I think you just keep working at it until, you know, you find out whether or not it's ever going to work.
Awesome. That's awesome. Dylan, for you, what was it that made you, I mean, like at what point, I think he maybe said, about what point did you come on into the business?
I came on into the business right after I got married, right?
Mhm.
It was about April of 2021, so about a year ago. And it was kind of mid pivot, if that makes sense. So the start of a pivot is kind of when I started to work with Devon.
What was the pivot?
So, you know, so we have that freestyle machine, and the concept of that is great, where you get unlimited drinks and it's a monthly subscription. But like Devin said, it's hard to those machines are hard to get, um, and they're expensive and not quite as scalable. So we kind of came up with a solution on how we can make that system similar or the
Kind of
same
streamline
with
the process.
streamline the process and make it work with other types of machines. And so
Okay.
that's kind of where I came in with Devin, and we kind of took that idea and ran and just tried to make it work. And so, yeah, that's kind of where I came in.
Why? What for you was, again, like, you're coming up against so many hardships. For you, I mean, we've heard Devin say it, but for you, was there anything different that you would add to what Devin said? Anything that makes you just keep going, want to keep going?
The biggest thing, honestly, it's like when you see progression of any kind, it makes you almost addicted to
The next step.
progressing and like constantly developing. So it's like once you hit once you have one milestone and it works, it's like, wow, that felt so good. I want to do that again. So then you keep learning. And when you keep learning and keep applying what you're learning, there's really no way but progression. And that feels good. And that's what makes me want to like keep going. And
I'm writing that down. Progression is addicting. That's awesome. That's well put. That's cool. That's way cool. That's awesome. Okay, well, cool. So, when you guys, I had seen that machine. I've been into the building, and for those who are watching this in St. George, right across from the DSU stadium, is the Atwood Innovation Plaza, and that's where we're talking about their station that they have set up with that machine. You can buy subscriptions or whatever. And I've been past it and I've never really stopped. I guess I've been too busy, but when you guys are explaining it to me, it was genius. I mean, I think I was talking with you, Devin, the only other place we really see this is in like the big, huge amusement parks, right? Like, I don't even think Disneyland does this, honestly. Like, we were just there and we've asked every time we've gone. Maybe Disney World has it, but Universal Studios, you can buy the $20 mug and then all day long you get refills, or every hour you get a refill. And I mean, like, it was a no-brainer for me, because like we bought 2 mugs and there's 6 in my family, and so we're like, hey, we're saving a ton of money on drinks. And I just think it's so cool. There's nothing like it out there, that I've ever encountered. I've never even heard of it. Is that pretty accurate?
Yeah, definitely very accurate. And the challenge of that is with being really innovative is it's people don't like fully understand it a lot of times. So they kind of have to like wrap their brain around it because they're not no one's used to buying, outside of like you said, like a theme park or vacation setting. They're not used to buying drinks in a monthly price. And so sometimes it can sound like, oh, do I really spend that much money on soda a month? Where in reality, they probably do spend a lot more than that.
Yeah, I mean, like, I won't name names, but there's a couple drink stations around town. We all know what they are, and I'm flabbergasted. I leave for work at 7 in the morning, and there's already a line of cars. And when I come home at night at 5 at night, there's a line of cars. Or when we go out, there's always a line of cars. And so, yeah, people are spending the money. So anyway, I just think it's amazing. You guys have got this really cool business model and a really cool product that I'm excited to see take off. Let me ask you this, like, how have you guys developed this mindset? Like, or did you just kind of feel like, hey, I just came this way, this is how I'm wired? Or like, how do you guys develop the mindset to grow despite challenges and all that other stuff? Is there anything that you guys do or anything you've read or yeah?
It's a really good question. You want
yeah,
I'm going to think about that.
Yeah. I don't know if there's like one, like, I can't think of one single thing that's like, okay, this is what made me want to have a growth mindset. But it's like just cumulative. Like, I feel like it was just at the beginning, it was like little drips of kind of inspiration from other people, like hearing kind of about their stories. So for me, it was, I was in a class at Dixie State University, and it was the dean of science, engineering, and technology, and he had started many businesses. And so at that time he was like just starting to kind of like, it was like my eyes were starting to like slowly see kind of like there's maybe a different world out there, different possibilities, but I wasn't really like fully committed to that yet. And so I was still, and like I even had a business at the time. I had a car design business, which I still have, but I didn't have a growth mindset. And so I just was kind of like doing the same things every day. And
Right.
and was working in the business and wasn't really growing it. And that's kind of like the difference between business owner and entrepreneur. But I think it's like with an entrepreneur, you're always looking for how can I not just like do the work, but how can I make the business make the business better every day, like, slowly. Even if it's small little incremental things every day, it's like over time that really adds up to big changes.
No, I totally agree. I've actually I've got this book, Atomic Habits. I love it, and it's just
Yeah, that's great.
this book, right? I mean, so
Yes,
you've
that book
obviously
is
read it.
awesome.
Yeah.
So good, and I think entrepreneurs need to understand that, because you guys know this, right? That there are a million things to do every single day for your business when you're an entrepreneur, right? And I don't know about you guys, but I tend to like get caught up in my huge list, and it's so stressful, and I bounce between things I have to do and I get nothing done, right? But
Yeah.
giving myself permission to take, like you said, those small incremental daily things, like small and simple, consistent daily action, is what just compounds over time, and that's cool.
Mhm.
So Dylan, I mean, obviously when I showed that book, you're like, yeah, it's an awesome book. Is that for you kind of one of the things that it's helped you kind of get into this mindset?
Yeah, I mean, so I think this mindset for me is honestly, I don't think I've had it for my whole entire life. I think I
Okay.
kind of have acquired this type of growth mindset and like mindset one, like personal development. And I think it happened. I came home from my mission, and then I realized that everything that I had pretty much learned in school, like high school, it doesn't really set me up to be like the people that I really admire and want to be like. And so I was like, okay, well, those things that I learned in high school, like I need to take a step back and see like what are the people doing, the people that I want to become like, what are they doing? What are they putting their time and energy into? And like just
Modeling what they
having,
do.
yeah, like it seems like they are living to their full potential, higher potential. And I wanted to feel like that for myself too. I want to be like, yeah, have a fulfilled life. And so, constantly learning, and just, it's not just learning, it's learning and then immediately taking action on what you learned, because you can learn all day, but if you don't
Yep.
actually apply, like you can read Atomic Habits, you can read other types of books like that, and it can be in your head and it can be fine. But if you don't take action on what that is, like what you learned from that book, it'll never actually change your life.
Yeah.
And so
It
that's
never
what
does.
I've really been focusing on the last like year, is these things that I'm learning, with Devon and going to these college classes with Devon. Like I'm learning these things and I'm trying to apply them immediately so that it becomes a habit in my life. And that is like the
Huge.
biggest thing for me. Yeah.
Yeah. I do a lot of consulting and a lot of coaching, and that's what you're right. That's for me, like literally it boils down to that, like just be an action taker. Don't think. I
Yeah.
mean, that sounds stupid,
Yeah.
but like imperfect action wins the day every single time, every single
Exactly.
time. Instead of thinking about it and obsessing about it and worrying about it and what if and what if and what if, but action taking always, always, always pays off. So
Yeah, I totally agree. And I think like you see a lot kind of in society, like people think, well, I can just manifest something and it's going to happen, or I can just really want to
right.
be this and put it out in the universe and it'll happen. And it's like, no,
No.
it's action. You can't just think your way into becoming something. You got to do it. You got to do the
Yeah.
work.
Yeah. Yeah. That's awesome. Well, let me ask you this. What advice would you have for someone who's thinking about starting a business or who's wanting to take their business to the next level? I mean, I know that's really generic, but any advice that you guys would have for business owners out there who are, kind of maybe in a rut or stuck? What do you got?
I would say like if they're stuck or having a hard time overcoming obstacles, just don't give up and realize that sometimes like we get really in the weeds with our businesses, and so it's hard to see like the way out. But I think it's often good to talk to other people and see like if they have solutions or people they know. Connections and networking are really helpful to get out of your problems, and you can help others as well. And so it's like it's helpful to sometimes see other insights, other points of views to help your business, to try to like get that traction. And if you're growing, I think it's a lot of the similar things. I mean, I think it's like trying to develop relationships with people who can help. You can help each other out with your own businesses, and kind of like same similar things, like be able to get that outside feedback, as well as just try to, I think, always be humble and realize that there's always going to be someone who has a business is more successful than you, and try to see, okay, maybe what things are they doing that I'm not doing, and try to just incrementally apply those to your business.
No, I love that. A lot of times I think as business owners, we are the ones in our own way, right? Instead of trying to figure out what I need to do, a lot of times it's trying to figure out who I need to connect with.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
I know in my business, that's what it was. It was like I was in my own way trying to do everything. And until I stepped back and I found the right VA, right. And the right, the right people to say, I like this part of the business. And so I'm going to focus on that, and hiring the right people to do everything else. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. And like you said, just surrounding yourself with like-minded people. Sorry, Dylan, I felt like I cut you off.
No, not at all. I just wanted to add to what Devin was saying. That was right on. Like, if you can find a mentor, like, you need to get out of your own like personal space, because you can get trapped in it so easily in like the day-to-day things. If you can like find a mentor, hire a business coach or a consultant, like if you can find somebody to give you some perspective and pull you out of that day-to-day, that's huge. And then just, listen to what they say and take action on it.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, you guys are amazing. I really appreciate it. Okay, so let me ask you this. So I know that there will be people, business owners and other people who will see this, and they live here in Southern Utah, the St. George area. If somebody wanted to get a subscription, or if they wanted to be a part of your business like that, what do we got to do?
Yeah.
So it's really pretty easy. You can go to fieldrinks.com and sign up for a subscription, and we can get you a bottle. And once again, we're located in the Atwood Innovation Plaza, and just a shout out to them. They've been extremely helpful with our business, and it's a great free resource. There's many people there who can help you with different problems in your businesses, and so it's a great place for many people to go. And they have the maker space as well, which allows you, if you have like physical products, to do prototyping and things like that. So it's a amazing resource in the community.
Space.
It's amazing. Yeah.
And a lot of people don't really know about it, I don't think. So
yeah, it's untapped potential, man. It's awesome.
Yeah.
That's so cool. That's so cool. Well, yeah, I will put a link to your website and all your information so people can check it out. I think I can't remember. We were talking earlier before the interview, and I can't remember. But anyway, they were so kind, and they got me a water bottle, and I've been filling it every day, getting my Dr. Pepper every single day. So it's good. As a matter of fact, my wife and I are going to head out and anyway, run some errands. I'm like, I know where we're going to stop first.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, guys, thank you so much. Thanks for being seriously, like, I'm not just saying it, thanks for being inspirational to me. Like, I wish I had this mindset when I was your age. I do. It wasn't until my late 30s that I'm like, I could start a business, right? And so it's really inspirational. You guys are awesome, and I am so excited to see you guys take this to the next level. It's going to be exciting. So
well, thank you. Thanks for having us.
You bet. Okay, guys.
Yes, thank you so much.
You're so welcome. We'll sign off for now, but we'll see you guys later.
Okay, sounds great. Thank you so much.